I beg your very pardon. Let me get the verbiage right. It's deionized water filled, this vapor chamber.
Oh, is that different?
No,
I don't know.
No, yes,
it's not.
after you finish using your steam iron, you can use the same water in your vapor chamber, because, and then you go and fill the battery in your car. It sounds
special. I swear, it looked more special than the normal ones.
Of course it is.
I'll test it, man. I'm gonna test it. Don't you worry.
How are you going to test a vapor chamber? Let us in. I want to know. How do you test a vapor chamber? Welcome back to Minus 16, the tech and YouTube podcast that you look forward to every fortnight. And as you can see, this time around, once again, 3 has become 4, as we are once again joined by Samuel. Sam, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good.
Lovely to have you back with us. I remember last time when you came on, the first time I met you, I kind of thought, oh, we've got a shy, retiring one here. We're going to have to coax him out of his inner self just to get some excitement to him. You're a bit of a live wire. I think we can just let you pull the cord and just let you run, can't we?
Yeah, I got to calm myself down. The thing is, I have to be a bit quiet because I got the kids sleeping next door, so I can't be too crazy.
Okay.
I never heard you say kids, by the way. That's the first time I saw you referring to your kids as kids. You can say fuck babies here. We're not.
They're not fat anymore. That's the problem. You know,
they've lost the baby weight.
Yeah.
They're skinny bababies now.
What age are they now?
I
mean, they're part of your channel, aren't they? So how old are they? You know, they're part of your brand.
5 and 3 now.
5 and 3. So we have got quite a lot to go through, as you can imagine. Since we were last with you, it has been the Apple event that's come and gone. So we've got all that to talk about and go through. And it's pre-order day today as we record. So we're all sitting here thinking the moment we finish recording, we've got to get to our baskets and check out. There's that to talk about. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me. We're going to talk about sponsors and how we're going to try and help cover the cost of this iPhone season and tech season in general. Alex has been to Germany to IFA. We're going to cover that as well and catch up with everything that's been going on in the last couple of weeks. There's been a lot going on. So where should we start? Should we start with the Apple event? You think is that as decent a place as any?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay. From my point of view, the one thing I'd say about it, having watched a few events this year, it was better if only because it was shorter. That much I really like. 70 minutes, in and out. There was very little ego or vanity. They didn't do any of those silly sort of bloody Mother Nature skits. It was just in, out, gave us the details.
I really appreciated that too, yeah.
That because I kept on waiting for the iPhone Pro Max bit, and they didn't even cover that specifically, which I was surprised at. But again, I just thought, it got to 7:10 here our time, and I was thinking, okay, it's going to go on for another 70 minutes done. So that was good. I kind of learned some lessons there, I thought.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what they gave us. I mean, let's bring in Samuel and Daniel here, shall we? First of all, 100%. Well, no, not 100% Samsung anymore. Sorry, we can't say that, can we? What with your Apple TV and your MacBook? But anyway,
I thought we were going to keep that a secret.
I am sitting here staring blankly at him for the audio listeners.
Yes. Well, okay. Let's talk about what you're about to order when we finish, then, shall we, Daniel? Mr. Okay. Samsung, what are you doing with your Friday? Come on.
In the name of content,
science,
and to fulfill a sponsor requirement,
right?
I am
having caveat.
Well, it's there. I am going to be purchasing and then swiftly 2 weeks later returning an iPhone 17 Pro Max.
That old chestnut.
Oh, that's how everyone gets into Apple, by the way, Daniel.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's the gateway.
You're forgetting who you're talking to here. You're talking to Mr. Samsung, who, I've successfully created like a brand, at least in the last 2 years, of people hate watching my comparisons where I don't have the phone. So can you only imagine how good it's going to be when I actually have it, the hate watch? So
you know what's going to happen, boys, don't you? He's going to find AirDrop between his Mac and his iPhone, and he's going to fall in love.
I already have quick share from that to the Mac as well. Like I've already got that sorted out. I'm sweet.
And Sam, what are you buying today, if anything?
I am definitely going to get the Air to keep.
Mm-hmm. As a keeper,
yeah, I've been holding on to this iPhone 13 mini for a very long time due to portability and whatnot. And the Air is basically portability. So I'm like, yes. And I'll get the Pro as well for content's sake and also for my wife to try out because she's a pro.
So there we go. I can't show you the price at the moment because the minute we click on prices, just to show you how live it is, there you go. We are waiting for Apple to update their website. And also, talking about their website, it is all new because I came in at a very silly hour on Wednesday morning. I was here at 3:30 in the morning and I went on, we're just doing familiarity. I clicked onto their website and it was all different. I thought, where's everything gone? But anyway, when their website is up and running, it's much nicer now. But yes, so this is the phone we're getting. What's your thoughts on it, guys? Alex, what are you thinking about?
Can I show you something about the Air? It's just a bit of fun, but I just thought I couldn't resist. I mean, I know it's been a couple of days already, but I'm not over the fact that they, almost on the same breath as they announced the Air, they said, because we came up with this amazingly thin phone, we've been able to develop this battery pack. It's like, what?
But something doesn't stack up to me there.
And they kept a straight faces like, there's got to be a skit, right? I'm like, no, it was actual. They showed the battery pack.
You know,
it was pre-recorded though, right? Like it was a pre-recorded event.
Yeah.
So they were probably their 6th or 7th take, and they had laughed the first 5. Sure,
they must have done. It must
be
John
Turner's laugh. I don't have
that battery pack, by the way, doesn't work with the other iPhones.
No, it's
only
purely
works on the Air.
Yeah, but something doesn't stack up to me because their specs are saying that it's got 27 hours of video playback, which is the same as the 16 Pro. So unless they know something we don't, that in everyday use the battery just tanks. I mean, their metric is always video playback time, and 27 hours is pretty damn reasonable. So why are they suddenly saying that you need a battery pack? Because it sounds like it should be okay. I mean, I think they said the size of the battery was. I
think they know. I think they know that. Yeah, a lot of people will buy it because I mean, it is a gorgeous iPhone. I mean, it's probably the best looking of the range. It's got really nice detailing and everything. It's got, it's a minimalistic sort of setup, which I think will appeal to a lot of people. But when you come to, what people might do by mistake is ordering, you think is going to be like a normal iPhone, and realize very quickly that, oh shit, the battery, they're only getting 3 hours screen on time here. What's going on? They will need that battery. I think they realize that.
I'm going to stop on that screen because I'm just know that somebody over in Australia is gagging to talk about the single camera setup. I might have watched your video. I might have sat here making notes of getting ready for you. So let's talk about this camera setup then, because obviously
I made the point in my video specifically about the weight. And I think thin phones are great, but I don't think it's necessarily how thin they are. It's how they are in terms of their weight. And this phone, the iPhone Air, is 2 grams heavier than the S25 Edge. And I thought, surely with that 2 grams of weight that they're added, there's got to be extra hardware-wise that this is carrying. But it isn't. It's actually functionally less hardware with that extra 2 grams. Like, it's a smaller battery. It's got a single camera versus 2 and a smaller screen. I'm like, I just don't know where that extra weight has come from when they're offering, like, at least on paper. Paper, it doesn't sell phones. We all know that. This will sell more than the Edge. Unfortunately, this is going to sell more because it's an iPhone launching it, not Samsung. And it seems as if Apple have put a bit more thought into this versus Samsung making the Edge in anticipation of Apple making this. That's pretty much what the Edge effectively is anticipation. And Samsung, with their hardware prowess, can make something that good that quickly. No doubt about it. And I feel like the S26 Edge will be a bit more thought out next year. But even with all of that, USB 2 on here, single speaker on here, it doesn't have that one-to-one smartphone experience that the Edge has got. The Edge still has a vapor chamber. I think, Sam, you mentioned that in your video. The Edge has got a vapor chamber. This doesn't. The Edge has got Samsung DeX. This hasn't even got USB 3. It's like there's a lot in here that is missing, even though it weighs a little bit more. That was just my point and my feelings at the time.
Is it true that Samsung kind of got wind of the fact that Apple releasing an Air and came up with the Edge?
Absolutely.
Or did they come up with the Edge anyway, and then Apple just happened to do that? Where did the original idea came from?
Yeah, I was actually thinking that because I know it's easy to say that Samsung had theirs first, but of course I was thinking, well, Samsung brought theirs out. Was it January, February time?
January's when they announced it at Unpacked in. So they obviously would have been developing it for a while.
Exactly.
They didn't launch
Apple
it.
Would have been developing
April.
theirs because Apple wouldn't have suddenly seen it in January and by now come out of the. So they would have been in development with their Air, wouldn't they, as well?
Or Apple would have probably started the Air development after the 16.
Yeah.
Samsung would have maybe started the Edge a bit closer to the middle of last year because no specs, there was no hardware information. when it got announced in January. It was just floating in space at the unpacked floor, but there was no information. None of the information came out until April when it launched. And I think there was rumors. Huh?
I just made a bit of fun saying if Tesla did the same, they would come up with a lighter, like a carbon fiber Tesla, but it comes with a trailer that you got to drive with.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that was just my point, is that, Apple made it look shiny and, shiny titanium frame, and spoke about, fusion camera. They're very good with their marketing speak. And I think you've got to look past that marketing at some of the things that they say and realize that, this is just like the Pro Max. This is just a 4 times optical zoom camera with 48 megapixel. Like, countless brands have done this before, but they make it sound so shiny and polished and like, this has never been done, when it's just really another version of 5 of the same cameras that have already come out.
And I know, Sam, you said you're buying it. Are you buying it because you actually think it's going to be a decent phone, or are you buying it just for a business sense?
Here's the thing. I think my purchasing like consumer products these days is a bit different to if I wasn't a YouTuber, if I wasn't a creator. I think there's a big difference. Like, because I know I've got access to 7,000 Android phones, I've got access to phones with millions of cameras. So it's like, I don't feel like I'll be left out of the single camera. But for a normal consumer, they're not going to buy 6 phones. They're going to have 1. So for them, I think it'll be a different mindset of, okay, I really don't use the camera much. I just want something elegant. I'm going to pick up the Air. But for me, it's kind of like, I like having an iPhone and an Android in each pocket. And my current iPhone of choice is the 13 mini. And I always wished it had always on display. I always wish it had 120 hertz. And I don't want to get the Pro phones because it's just clunky, big, heavy, right? And they just came out with the Air. So for me as a content creator, it's like, this is perfect. It's iOS. Yeah. It'll probably be better battery than the mini. I'll test that. But I think, that's my thought process. As well as I'm a sucker for things that look good. So
and the thing about the camera, though, I mean, the speaker, I think you can almost forget, insofar as most everybody listens to content with some sort of AirPods or whatever, don't they? So the single speaker, I don't necessarily think is an issue. And the camera, again, for the sort of person that's going to be picking this phone up, isn't it going to be a point and shoot? They just want to take a picture of what's in front of them right there. They're not going to go through the menus and find all the pro settings. Isn't it just literally a grab and shoot kind of a phone/camera anyway?
I honestly think this is the first time Apple's like, I know who we're selling to. I think they've really segmented it and said the pros are really for pros. Like, we don't give a crap. It doesn't have to look pretty anymore. We're not going to go for the most top, feel, how it feels. Like, we're not going to go for that. Aluminium, because it's the best heat. It's a heat sink, pretty much. And they made it a unibody so that it's now, this is going to be incredible with a vapor chamber and an aluminium body. It's going to be no other. Yeah. It's going to perform like no other iPhone before it. But it's only going to appeal to the pros because it kind of looks a bit, weird. Like, to me, I feel like it's more function over form. Whereas the titanium and glass is the worst for heat, by the way. And this is a very thin phone. So logically, it makes no sense. But I think they're like, this is for the people they're not pros. They just want something pretty, stuff like that. I think it's really segmented.
I was thinking about this because, I mean, to be fair, I had a couple of beers. I was in Munich, so and it's almost Oktoberfest, so I was like, I've got to have a beer. But after watching the Apple event, I also needed to kind of digest that. But as I was thinking, okay, well, I need to make this buying guide video, and I ended up just recording in the streets, and my thoughts as they come in. One of my thoughts was exactly that. What the hell is this phone for? And I realized 2 things. One is, for the first time, the regular iPhone is easy to recommend people, because it's like, it's 48 megapixel camera. Why do you need a Pro? Really? No. So I think what you're saying, Sam, is very true, especially when you consider there's a much more easy to recommend regular iPhone that has a lot of Pro features. And then with the Air, I don't know, I came up with something that I've seen other brands like Nothing and much smaller, almost like no-name brands that are coming up with ideas to detox tech. So people buy their tech on purpose because they'll feel limited and they will be therefore less inclined to use. So I think there's another mini segment in there that people who want to like maybe either as a second phone for the evenings or whatever, or as their main phone to just actually not be using so much because it's so limited. And I think the 16E did that job as well. I don't know if it was planned or accident, but a lot of people are using it as I can only do so much with this phone, and therefore I'm not stuck to it.
It was kind of like Sam was saying, I've been addicted to that 16E. I've taken it out so much more than my Pro Max. So I only take the Pro Max if I know that I might need it as a backup camera. But any other time, that 16E is gorgeous. I've never had such a small, light phone. Ever since I've been doing this stuff, it's always been a big, heavy, clunky phones. And suddenly, to have something that was small, compact, light, and did everything that you want to do day to day, you know, nav and music and podcast, it's fantastic. And the battery is virtually unbreakable. I mean, it just goes on. And that's because, interestingly, the Air is the most sort of iPhone of all iPhones because it's all Apple chips. You've got the 19 Pro in there. You've got this new N1 chip, their connectivity chip for better Bluetooth and so on. And also the new iteration of the C1 modem, the C1X, which they're clearly lining up for the Pro phones soon, I'd have thought. But yeah, I mean, that's why I can't work out this battery pack thing because everything about it smacks that it should be decent. And when it lands, I'm actually going on I've got a sponsor which we're going to be talking about in just a moment. But so I'm going on a trip anyway, and I'm going to use it for a 2-hour drive, sat nav, and just see how it lasts. You know, stream music, use it in the car.
I would bet that you won't get like 4 hours screen on time on that.
I'd be interested to see. That's what I'm going to be testing.
Apple spoke about the density of the battery, right? Which is exactly kind of what Samsung did with the Edge. They added that density into the cell, even though the capacity is more. It's like dense with power a bit. I'm not a battery technician, so that's just stuff that goes straight over. Took some hair with it when it went over my head as well. But the point is that maybe they're confident, or they spoke about confidence about the battery because of that density. But to get people who they know will be thinking, oh, it's thin, it must have leak battery, they're selling it only for Air battery pack to people who they know will just buy it. Whether they need it or not, they're going to buy it.
Oh, so it's extra bucks, whatever. Yeah.
It's extra bucks regardless. Whether the battery it needed that battery pack or not, they're selling you $100 battery pack just to cure your anxiety, right? Even if it doesn't be needed.
I think it's hard for us to wrap our head around because it's not for like us. Like we know what you're getting. Like I said, if I wasn't a YouTuber, that's not the phone I would get. You know, if I had to get one phone. You know?
Yeah, but you see, the Edge could probably fill the gap because it still offers you most of Samsung's Ultra experience minus the telephoto camera.
Oh, you know what bummed me out, but like this whole time, because it's got the A19 Pro titanium, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's the upper class. So this whole time, I thought it was going to have the 17 Pro main sensor.
No.
But it actually has the iPhone 16's, oh, not 16's, the iPhone 17's main sensor, which is slightly smaller.
Yeah.
The Air.
That's what I mean about the Edge, right? Is the Edge matches more or less the Ultra phone DeX. DeX being a big one. Like if that didn't have DeX, then you'd maybe like look elsewhere. But the fact it's got it, the fact it has pretty much the main camera from the Ultra and it's got a secondary one, I feel like that could replace, whereas the Air, I don't know if that could replace your main phone if you weren't a YouTuber. That's, I guess, my point.
Yeah. So I asked Samsung a pretty controversial question. I mean, I think, you know, I've been saying this for a while. I thought the Edge probably didn't sell very well. I don't know the numbers, but if I was to guess, the Edge probably didn't sell a lot because people weren't interested in that. So I asked that question. So do you think that the Edge will now sell more because of the Air? And, you know, without confirming it, they reckon that is the case because, you know, people will look, you know, whether we like it or not, whether, you know, love or loathe Apple, their marketing is amazing, right? So when they put something out in the market, it will get attention, and a thin phone will probably generate, you know, more searches towards, okay, what's the alternative? And there is only one at the moment.
If my views are anything to go by on my Edge versus Air video, that video has gotten more views than any of my Edge videos on their own did.
For one simple reason. You've mentioned
because the iPhone has put attention on thin phones.
Exactly.
And now people can be aware of the other thin phone that's out there.
Mate, you can thank me next year when Apple brings out their foldable, because all your foldable videos are suddenly going to start resurfacing again. Just change the thumbnail, but the Apple's foldable by the side of it, and you're good to go.
I better start saving now because I'm going to need 10 grand to buy it.
Yeah, it's not going to come cheap, I grant you. But now, Samuel, I'm sure you watch all of our podcasts and listen to them avidly when you're on your journey, so you know everything we've talked about over the past few months. I know that without even asking the question. But just in case you happen to miss it, I've been banging a drum saying I think Apple took a beating last year, but they've come back strong this year. I think the OS looks really good. And also, that square sensor, I didn't realise when I was watching the event quite what a big deal that was. And that's the kind of little detail I think they do really well.
That. Yeah.
They come in with something just almost, we're all sitting there watching, looking for the big shiny things, and suddenly you've got this square sensor. It's like, man, that's actually really big.
BlackBerries did that years ago, but yeah, it's cool.
Right, so I did have somebody on Medium get in touch with me just before coming on saying, before Daniel had to go at me, saying that apparently there was another phone manufacturer did that, a Motorola or somebody.
BlackBerry.
I'll find it in a moment. Speak amongst yourselves and I'll find it. But apparently there was a phone in 2019 that had a square rear sensor.
It was earlier than that. BlackBerry did it. Yeah.
Where was it on? I'll see it. Yeah, anyway, so there was that mention. But that I thought was a great detail, and that's the kind of thing where Apple, I think, shine. You know.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
The Flip doesn't have a square sensor, but the Flip has a feature when you have it propped up in flex mode where you can make it be horizontal with the portrait orientation. And that's really clever. Like, it allows that to do that. And I shoot a lot of content in flex mode that way because it just fits better on the table. But the sensor doesn't suit it. It's just being adapted to the sensor. So I think the way Apple's done it with that center, well, they get center stage.
Yes.
My money, Mac.
It's a frame changer. I just saw that on the screen. It's a frame, like, oh, man. Pay the marketing team whatever they want. Put the check on the table, write whatever number they want, and just sign it, because that sells the phone. That sells the phone.
You know, cynicism aside, I'm all for that. But I was wondering if there would be, I don't think Apple will allow it, but given it is a square sensor, I was saying we could do stuff like, in camera, Sam, you probably know this more than I do, but in camera language, you have the ability to sometimes shoot,
Opengate.
Opengate,
yes.
So does that mean we can do Opengate on this phone with a selfie?
That would be incredible. But someone has actually tried, and they said they couldn't use the full. So they couldn't get a frame where it's just a square. But I assume, but knowing Apple, they might not allow it. But I assume like other apps might be able to tap into it.
Yeah, because on the Pro you can do that now, right? Even with the 16, you can kind of use a full sensor with an app, which basically gives you Opengate. But that's cool. I think
Opengate's been a buzzword this week because it's been a big camera week, wasn't it? Nikon have released some cameras, Canon have released some cameras. It's been a huge camera week as well.
I mean, for content is awesome, right? Because you shoot one shot and then you can cut it, without losing resolution, in vertical. Or
Carl St. James, somebody that reads me on Medium, said it was actually worth mentioning that Motorola sold an Android device, the One Action, in 2019 that had a square rear sensor to take landscapes. I'm not trying to knock Apple. I think this year's lineup is fantastic. With something for everybody, but I'm just getting into you before Daniel rips into you on the podcast. Thank you, Carl.
I didn't even know. So
there you go. So apparently Motorola, there you go. You can put that in one of your next videos when you're dissing on Apple. That Motorola did this 5 years ago. It's nothing new.
Well, if we want to talk about Apple putting something in that someone's already done, they did that dual recording feature.
They did indeed.
Then that's been on Samsung's for like 10 years. So
yes, I know.
Xiaomi did it wasn't Xiaomi, but I think it was Mi something. 2010.
Mizu.
2010.
Did what? A thin square phone sensor, a thin phone. Yeah. Thin phones have been a concept for a while as well. But I think the hardware of 2010 didn't allow the phone to be any good. Whereas I think the hardware now and the technology now is really rapidly advanced, so the power can be there as well as the internal hardware.
I worry about bendgate again, right? 'Cause it's like,
can't wait.
And the edge does flex, but it's super durable.
What's the edge been like?
I've witnessed someone drop the edge. It was one of those drops that you just know it will shatter the screen if it was any other phone. But yeah, he picked up from the floor. Was like, holy crap! I mean, we're in a restaurant, and the whole restaurant stopped. They're like, that smashed it. Not
You know what I'm
nothing.
You know what I'm more curious to see other than Ben's stuff is the anti-reflective coating on the iPhone.
Anti-reflection, yeah.
I really want to see how it compares to the Ultra. And I know it's on all 4 of their models, which got to give them props for doing that. I said in my videos that Samsung's biggest failure this year was not putting that coating on every phone. I know you can get screen protectors, but
why would they not? Because I've not. Well, so I think I saw the Ultra when I was up with you, Alex, in London. But that anti-reflection on the Ultra is chuffing brilliant. So why would they not? Why would they not put it on?
I really looked into it because I love that, and I've in fact got the screen protectors on all my Samsung phones because it's just so good. But apparently it's like a thing that they've got, a deal that they've got with Gorilla.
Corning,
sorry, not Gorilla, Corning. And maybe it's only made for them or something like that. I don't know.
Just for the Ultra.
It's not as easy as Samsung's got control of the whole thing. It's not like that. I think it was like some sort of agreement that you got to wait till that dies out before they can start. That's why other phone manufacturers can't even do it, because Samsung's got the exclusivity.
But it's weird that the exclusivity only extends to the one phone series. Like, it's just an odd thing to not be widespread. They could have put it on base models, could have put it on FE, they could have put it on Edge, but
tablets as well. I mean, it would have made sense a lot on tablets.
Well, they have a different version of it on the tablet. The Tab S10 Ultra and the Tab S11 Ultra both have it, but it's a different. It's not the same. It's not the Corning version. It's something different.
Bro, the S25 Ultra's thing is just
I mean, even the S24 Ultra, which I got back, by the way, repaired,
fixed.
So it'd be cool to show the S24, the S25, and the iPhone, whatever. Because I think the S24 Ultra is still.
But from the hands-on videos, it looked like it wasn't as good. Like, because we know what the S25 Ultra is like. And it just felt like I'm seeing a lot of freaking reflections, you know?
Yeah, especially
so I don't know. Why didn't anyone just do it side by side?
I don't think it's going to be as good as the Samsung, I've got to say. It was almost a watered. They said it's improved. They weren't making a big play on this whole edge. And if they knew it was as good as the Ultra, they would have made a massive steal on it, wouldn't they, surely?
Yeah. I've only seen footage of people doing that demonstration on, at the Steve Jobs Theater, which is probably not it's probably the most reflective thing on earth. So, but I would like to see it in real life, side by side, outdoors in the sunlight, or in a place with lots of windows and stuff.
I want to talk about the FE in a moment. Just before we get onto the FE, one thing that struck me again when I sort of made my video a few hours after watching the event was the fact they called it just the Air, not 17. I wonder if it's a one and done. If next year they're going, somebody again mentioned this morning to me, if it's going to maybe become a whole subcategory, so they have the Fold and the Air, and they won't give them a nomenclature of 17, 18, whatever. They'll just be the iPhone Air, the iPhone Fold, and not give it. It just was very strange. And again, this comes back to this whole thing, the rumours. All these rumour cycles that think they're so clever. Nobody came up with the square sensor. Nobody got the name right, that it was going to be the iPhone Air, not the 17 Air, which proves my point. Apple let out exactly what they want the rumour. Even Gurman only gets what Apple really want him to get, I think. But this FE then, because this came out this week, didn't it, or last week?
It got announced at IFA last week, didn't it? IFA. It got announced at IFA, I think, didn't it?
It was publicly announced there. I think that was that's right. The embargo was last week. Yeah,
embargo was last week. Yeah. Mine arrived yesterday, and I got to say, I wasn't a fan of last year's Fan Edition at all, but Samsung kind of nailed the hardware with this one, at least making it feel and look a bit more premium than last year's ones. The bezels are slimmer, it's lighter, it's thinner, and it just has a frosted glass back instead of glossy glass. And I think that adds to that more premium feel of it about it. But the rest of it is pretty underwhelming. Like, the cameras are the same as last year. The chipset is the same chipset, dropping the E tag at the end of it. Like, it's an Exynos, and people hate Exynos in the world. And I don't know, it's got a foot in both camps, a foot in a really good phone camp, and then a foot in, well, this is an A series. Like, it doesn't quite know where it wants to sit. It's a bit confused.
Yeah. My kind of initial feedback, and I said this to some of the Samsung people, which probably wasn't a popular comment, but I said, like, that's too many devices.
Oh, man.
Like, so cut down the number of devices. And the same goes for Xiaomi and others. There's just too many. right? Just the consumer must be like, what do you want me to buy? And they're so like fractionally different. Like, how can I recommend the FE when I can go back to last year, S24 Plus, and that's still an amazing device for, similar pricing, or even the S25 Plus, if you spend another 100 quid or whatever. I find it really hard to recommend that because of the price, a little extra bump, and you get a Plus device.
In Australia, there's a $600, $700 price difference between this and the Plus. Like, this is $1,099 for the 128 gig, and the Plus is $1,899 or $1,849. So there's a huge disparity, right, in price.
That's crazy.
At its base price. And I don't really think for the Plus you actually get that much more. It's the same capacity battery, same size screen,
that's
similar
what I mean.
camera setup.
It should be just
ultra
one
wide,
then, right?
50 megapixel and 3 times.
Then
they both don't need to exist. One of them could exist.
Can the Plus and have the Plus be the FE? I'd say.
I think next year the next year the lineup looks to be S26 Pro, S26 Edge, and X26 Ultra, and then the FE I guess will be smaller. Pro will be the smaller one, and then the Edge will be the middle one, and then the Ultra will be the Ultra. And the Ultra is due to be slimmer and lighter again, still have the S Pen, but no change to the cameras. At least that's what it's been leaked out and rumored at the moment. But yeah, Samsung's lineup this year was too much. There was way too much crammed in, and it just confused everyone. I think everyone's confused. I think you're right. Then there's the A56, which is like not far away from this as well. Like, they're very close in range.
I actually love that design as well. The design on the A56 is actually better, I think, than the squared off.
I agree.
So we've spoken, there's quite a lot of other things to cover as well. So we've spoken quite a bit about what we've seen this week at Apple and what's happened with Samsung in the last couple of weeks. Let's talk about how we're trying to fund it and pay for it, because I'm about to become very poor.
Let's not, because I'm pretty sure that there will be one or two tablet fans in there. Let's not gloss over the fact that, similar to the phones, I think there's too many like yearly releases of tablets. I mean, the S11 Ultra, awesome tablet, thinner, amazing screen. Jesus, that's an incredible screen. But
didn't need
the
to
S10
exist.
is still amazing. The S9 Ultra is still amazing. It's like,
I've still got the S9 Ultra. Yeah. I think the Samsung is like trying to just solve problems with just releases. Like, if there's a gap in the market, if there's something that's not there, like let's just put a product into that segment, and hopefully it plugs the gap that we're not competing in. It's too much. It's too many.
Exactly. And as a segue to the money conversation we're going to have, who's buying? Let's say, and if you want to buy I think a 1 terabyte S11 Ultra is £1,800 when the M4 MacBook Air exists. Like,
I know, Dan, you always said that's one of the things you've never understood really about Samsung. It's this scattergun approach. You can't even keep up with it. It's just suddenly wake up and there's a drop. There's a new product. Well,
we had the Tab S10 Lite launch a few weeks ago. Earlier this year, the Tab S10 Fan Edition launched. Like, why do we need a Lite and a Fan Edition of the Tab S10? They don't need to coexist together. You just need one. And for me, it's a very confusing lineup, their tablet range. And I don't think this year's release warranted enough of an upgrade over the Tab S10 Ultra. I also don't like when they released it. Like, I feel like launching it just after a Fold, when you're trying to pitch the Fold as this phone and tablet replacement, again, is confusing. You could launch the Tab S10 Ultra alongside the S series at the start of the year and have it be pitched as, here's your slab, here's your tablet, bang, they go together. Yeah. And then your foldable launches standalone at the end of the year with wearables and be like, fold, watch, that's all you need. But I feel like they just don't quite know how to be switched off. They always have to launch something. There's always a product. They're always scrambling. Something needs to be out at every point of the year. So it just boosts those numbers. Or I don't know. I really don't understand it anymore. Like I used to, but now it seems a bit, like you said, scattergun.
It is crazy. Yeah.
So funding. And it's kind of, I think the angle we're going to take is how we balance what is quite a busy season with also making content for sponsors, which isn't necessarily organic to our channels, but helps us, pay the bills, buy the gear, because we're all buying this gear, most of it. So how are you guys approaching it? as to how much sponsored content you're putting out and how much you're taking the dollar, as opposed to actually making core content that you know is going to please the viewers and hopefully get you good traction on the channel?
Sam, go on, Sam. You go first, Sam.
Yeah. I said this last time, which was, I don't know how long ago. Was it like 6 months ago?
Too long.
It was like, 6 months ago. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I thought by now I would know.
It was before you're famous.
Yeah, before I was famous, before people recognized me.
We all came off that podcast thinking that guy doesn't know what he's doing. We all came off with that one unanimous thought, thinking he's pissing in the wind. He's got no idea what he's doing.
I still think he'll hit a million subs within the next year. I'd say, I guarantee it.
So have you got content lined up then, Sam, from sponsors, or how far in advance have you got?
I do. So the iPhone, the iPhone sponsors come in maybe 4 months in advance. And so what I do is I do a bidding war, and I go, send it. And then I actually try them all, and I go, this is my favorite, and this is my favorite. And then I make them bid. And then whoever pays more, pretty much, because I'm like, I like these guys and I like these guys. And they'll just fight. And then, So that's kind of what I did last year. And I did that for the 16 Pro. And they even funded a friggin' movie. So I was like, all right, cool. But this year around, I kind of did the same thing. So that way, the product that I'm, being sponsored by, it's something that I actually like. But that's just iPhone. No one else books in that early for any other product or brand or anything like that. A lot of like charging batteries and stuff like that.
That's how I'm spending my Saturday this week.
How often can you say this is good? When every second video is a battery pack.
I had 2 integrations. One for a really thin phone case for the Fold, and then I did a dedicated video for a really thick one. And I'm like, how do I say both of them are good? I'm like what do I do here?
Yeah, but you got to pay the bills, man.
Exactly. I've been in a really difficult spot with sponsors recently because I get a lot of like quick turnover ones, and they all happened at once. Like in August, I got maybe like 5 or 6 sponsorship opportunities for software. I'm like, oh, these are easy to turn around. And then I got sick. I copped the flu and was down for 10 days.
Yes. Yeah.
And then my wife got sick and the kids were sick. And I'm like, I am now behind, and I've got 5 sponsors due this week. And like, it was crazy. And I've lost a couple of opportunities. They've had to delay because I missed a deadline. And it's just been like a really hectic sponsorship period. So I now have a solution. I think I remember Alex saying something a while back that I have spots available next month if I'm getting new ones coming in. I can't have that pile up again. It was too stressful, and it's money, but it's like it's almost not worth it because I have to try and balance the content I want to make, because I still want to make my own content and not wait for sponsors. Because I was sitting up to 1 a.m. the other night waiting for a sponsor to approve an integration before I publish, and I'm like, I just wanted to publish, and I published, and they said they were happy. So I was like, whew.
Is it just
I've been there so many times. I mean, not anymore. I think that there's one of the benefits of having an agent dealing with the brands. That problem doesn't entirely go away, but I feel a little bit more organized with the dates and stuff, because it's contractually agreed and whatever. So I can plan a little bit ahead. But yeah, I remember, in the last few years having that same situation of, I just want to get it, and I have. I mean, when people like, I don't know, Surfshark or whatever, they take so long to respond. So I would just sometimes remove the integration altogether because I just want the video to go out. I took a risk, I think, with the iPhone. I mean, there's one video every single year for the last 5 years that I know if I upload it before the Apple event and before Marquez releases his iPhone video, that video will bang. It's 200,000 views guaranteed every single year. This year, as it happens, I was in Germany at the same time, so I couldn't do it. So I've done it after the thing. But I had to say to the sponsor, you haven't given me the product. So, all I needed was a dummy case, a dummy iPhone and the case. So I dropped it. Luckily, though, another sponsor said, "Oh, we'll take the slot and just do what you want." And I said, "Oh, for this one, the only thing I can do is script approval. You're not going to see the video until it's live, because every minute that delays this video is eyeballs that you're going to be missing. So you have to literally trust me, bro, on this one.
And you were about to say something, Sam. You said, is it only you?
Yeah. Is it just me, or does it feel so freaking good to just publish something without any sponsors?
Yes.
You can put whatever you want in the description.
As much as it hurts the wallet, it's nice to go, do you know what? There's no strings attached on this one.
Yeah. That feeling when you come in and you sit down, you know you can just hit record, edit, publish at your own speed when you want to, and not be waiting. And again, I think it sounds like we've all been through a spate of having quite a lot of sponsored content or integrated content, and you know you're going to wait. And it's, as you said, it's lovely just to come in and make something. It might be a passion project. It might be something you know is not necessarily going to get eyeballs, but it's just fun to make.
Yeah, there's two sides of the coins. I mean, this week has been particularly telling for me because last week I was at a tech event called IFA in Berlin. It's the second time I go, and is a trip I go to and I book it well in advance. Same as CES, because I know there will be the roundup, the best tech I've seen this week or whatever, and there's an opportunity for sponsors to 3 or 4 of them go in the same video. So it's very much a financial decision to go to these events and make that roundup video and get as much money as possible for that roundup thing. But I did feel like I was selling my soul. One of the deals, I won't mention the brand, but one of the deals I agreed with actually said, we want to boost the video. Because they know, right? This, with a roundup video, it's like, who is searching for people will search for very specific things. They're not going to be searching for, give me the 10 best, random shit that you see at an event. So, I definitely struggled with that one because it felt like selling my soul. But I always try to mention to my audience, right, in any opportunity I have, to say, look, this studio doesn't pay for itself. Me being here to 2, 3, 4 a.m. sometimes editing, there's a cost associated with that. I've got to run this thing as a business. But the other side was yesterday, it was that video that, a sponsor jumped on it last minute. It was a sponsor that I actually like as well, which is always really good because that can be genuinely recommended without any issues, not just reading a brief. And the result was the video did well. And the sponsor was like, well, we want to book you for October for Black Friday. That to me is the best situation and is where I want to be all the time, to say, I want to make this video. Here's my calendar for the next 3 months. I think you, brand, will fit in those videos. And that will be the deal that we agree, rather than, reacting to an email that comes in and saying, right, do you want to, my next videos is something called Hypershell. It's it's a bionic leg, basically. So I'm gonna have to make that work. Yeah. I mean, it's an awesome product, but it's gonna tank. I know. It's just
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Good luck.
Have you guys ever had a bad feeling about? There's somebody that I'm doing some content for, and they've drummed a really competitive price out of me, but I just got a feeling that I don't know if I can trust you. So I went to them and said, okay, I'll do it at this price, but you're going to pay me the full fee on script approval. I won't record or upload the video until I've got the money in. Have you, I don't know, have you guys ever kind of felt icky about something?
I know someone who demands payment upfront or they won't do the thing. I don't think I'm in that position to say that, because brands would just walk away and go, I'll just go to someone else. But I think in certain niches, even within tech, I mean, this guy's in home, smart home stuff.
Smart home stuff, yeah.
And he's a go-to, right? He gets 80,000 views, 100,000 views, and the retention graph on his videos is like Mr. Beast. I've never seen anything like it. So people come to him for his opinion on stuff. So he's able to say to brands, big brands, in that space, say, I won't make the video until you pay me. Unfortunately, if I say that, I mean, some brands, I've been able to say, I'll get 50% upfront when you see the script, and then I'll produce the video after I get the payment for the 50%. Because we all know, right? We all have, those WhatsApp groups where people say this brand delayed payment, or this brand, is a bit dodgy to work with. So there is a blacklist on the creator side as well, as much as there probably is one on the other side. Brands know what creators to avoid. So yeah, I think, if you're starting out, always look for other creators and ask questions about, hey, have you worked with these people before? Or I know you worked with these people before. How did they go about payment and stuff like that? Because yeah, it's not wrong to say, unfortunately, there's no regulation in this industry, right? But it's not wrong to say, hey, let's agree on 50% payment up front.
What's the longest time you waited?
Months. 6 months, I think, was
6 months.
Yeah, and I had to threaten them, and over and over again.
That one, yeah. I think I had about 6 weeks from one, and I got in touch with somebody else that we all know and said, I know you've made a video for them. How did it go? And he said, yeah, I had the same story. So, they did pay, but after a lot of chasing.
Yeah. And it's a horrible situation, right? Because even if you can't, we can go on Twitter and moan about it and it will get resolved. But you just come across as the guy moaning all the time, It's just it's not a good situation to be in. I know someone who's in that situation right now. I think he just got paid today. It's someone we all know, and it's a brand that I'm working with. Which is it makes it really awkward when you hear that the brand is working with you, and as it happens, my relationship with them has been good, but I know that they're treating another creator badly. So yeah, I was about to jump in and say, hey. No, this is a direct brand. I'll mention the brand offline, but yeah, it's a smart glasses one.
It's
like there's many. Okay, it's not Meta.
What's really cool? Whenever I listen to other podcasts and they go, "Oh, we'll mention it offline." I'm now on a podcast where I can actually be offline to hear what you're talking about.
Yes,
I don't have to be
I wish I was a fly on the wall. Yeah,
I don't have to be like, I wonder what they're talking about. I don't have to. You'll just tell me.
Yeah, but I think everyone else more important to know that these things exist rather than know the specifics. But if you are in this space and you want to know who they are, I mean, feel free to reach out and DM. We can always talk.
I think after 3 months, which was the longest time I've waited, and I was relying on this money as well because and it just didn't come in 3 months. So I thought I wasn't going to get it, but we ended up getting it. But ever since then, I've put in like before any brand. Like I work with any brand, it's like 50% upon script approval. Mm-hmm. So once you approve the script, you shoot me 50. It doesn't have to hit the bank, but I just got to see that remittance that you've sorted it, and then kind of like that. But then a lot of times, sometimes you get the sponsor in the week, and you just can't do that. So you're just like, just pay it, whatever. Or if it's a recurring sponsor, you've been paid before, it's all good.
They're good, yeah.
But when it's like a new kind of thing, it's like, nah, man, let's do the 50 up front. But then sometimes, like you said, they'll be like, nah, I won't do it.
I have the biggest problem at the moment,
which is
of being lowballed. Like just the offers that I'm getting are just like, come on. Like maybe when I started and I just got monetized, that could be like a conversation. But the thing is, I give my rate. And they're like, "Oh, sorry, sir, we only have budget for $50. Would you accept?"
Yes,
like,
yes.
How do you think that what I gave you, which may be like here, and what you said,
exactly that?
How do you think someone who's running a business has scope to reduce their rate like by that much? I've just started saying, look, I'm running a business. I've got overheads, time, investment. I can no longer afford to be making basically free videos.
So when I see these emails turn up, I've got a paragraph pre-typed now on a note. I just go copy, paste, put in somebody's name, attach my rate card, and generally tell them the price that I'm going to go for, just to cut out the waste of time. And like you said, let's pull a figure out of thin air. This is obviously clearly not my rate. Let's say I say £10,000. They'll come back and say 1,000. It's like, did you read what I just typed? Did you actually bother to look at the fee that I offered you? And you're coming in at 1/10 of the price. Why would you? Why? In what world? Why am I wasting my time?
The painful thing is to know that, obviously when you work, with these brands for a few years, some of them, you might meet them in person. They might have a couple of drinks and they might tell you a few secrets, right? But you also hear from other creators who are much more experienced in bigger channels as well, that have relationships with brands. And the reality is 90% of the cases, those kind of agencies have already been paid.
Yeah.
So they are trying to lowball you, to skim off the top, basically, as much as possible. The reality is they've already submitted your rate to the brand and got paid your rate, but they're now going to do everything they can to reduce what they already got paid.
I think that's what I'm getting. A lot of independent agencies who reach out on behalf of a brand, and they've got paid to go and get creators, and then I give them my rate, and they're like, "Oh, it's actually this," and I'm like, "I know exactly what's happening.
You can.
I know exactly what's happening."
If you are prepared to walk away from a deal, try to say to them, "Look, I already know. We both know you already got paid, so let's cut the crap, right? See what happens."
Well, I went back to one today. I said, "Look, I'm sorry. What's on offer here isn't enough. This is what I need to operate. If you want to go ahead, this is what I need to go ahead." And they go, "We'll go back to the brand." I'm like, "You don't need to go back to the brand, man. You know, you need to go back to your boss and say, here's the money. Let's pay him."
And as horrible as it sounds, right? We're doing something that if they were to do it professionally in a TV advert or pay someone to do an advert or something, it would cost them like tens of thousands,
double.
But not only that, there's something that you can't really put a price on, which is I see it as like a savings bank account, right? You every time you do a sponsored ad, it's almost like a bit of your savings account is going. You are basically saying to your audience, "Sorry, I have to put you through this a little bit." People might say, actually, you are giving some content in exchange for their time, so it's kind of a fair exchange. There are many ways of seeing this. Ultimately, I think there's much better way. It's much better to produce a video without a sponsor than with a sponsor. I think on balance, for everybody. But reality is, like I said, we got to pay the bills. So what the brands need to understand, whether they're small or big brands, is that you are putting your neck on the line. You are representing their brand. You are basically being the face of the brand for potentially millions of people, right? Forever. The content is not going to go away. It's there forever. So it's like, try to put a price on that, man, because I've been in situations where the brand cocks up later, like 1 year, 2 years down the line, you're like, oh fuck, I've kind of sponsored, kind of said that this brand is good, and now look at what they've done. So that sort of stuff, you can't really put a price on. So when they lowball, it's like, bugger off, man.
And a story that I popped up on screen a moment ago that Daniel and I, you mentioned in between our pods, was this Google case, which potentially is pretty big.
Google One.
Yes.
They don't have to sell Chrome.
And isn't it odd that kind of ChatGPT kind of came to its rescue? Because I think the judge was saying, well, now Google and Chrome have got competition. People aren't Googling as much as they used to. And of course, it also had massive implications for Apple as well, who pay Google, I think, is it 20 billion? Google pay Apple 20 billion a year, isn't it, to be their default?
Life-changing money. That's what you can say.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is potentially a big thing. It's just odd that an AI... Because do you guys still Google, or do you guys use ChatGPT to find information?
I don't search anymore as I used to.
I use Gemini a lot on the phone, or I got the Google search widget there. So I mix now. It's no longer just exclusively Google. Gemini is Google anyway, so it's the same.
The thing with AI is they're not quite there yet. So for example, I was traveling a lot last week.
Information's not accurate yet.
It's not accurate, and it's not as good, right? I mean, if you type on Google, for example, that you want to travel and you want to know the best hotels and restaurants around that place, you get really decent results. If you try that with AI tools, it's so bad. It's like you get some recommendations, but then you go into the places like the place is closed, or it's just not up to date or whatever. So sometimes it is better to use Google for certain things, but if it's for like research, I'd say AI tools are better now.
Where you on that?
I use all of them: Grok, GPT, Gemini. I've got my kind of
user case for each one
for whatever I'm doing.
Your stack. Isn't that what it's called?
Are you guys using video generation tools at all? Have you played with any of those?
I've not gone there yet. No.
It's just too big of a world for me to jump into. I just don't. Like, I barely have enough time to film my own videos, let alone typing in prompts and then hoping it get it right. I'm like, nah, you know what? It's just going to be quicker for me to film my phone instead of generating. Yeah, I can't.
Dude, I used AI generation for video once, and I actually put it in a video, and one of my, once someone commented, goes, bro, are you serious? Something like that, don't do that ever again. I was like, okay, all right.
I did one for the iPhone 17, like a leak video. So obviously, we only have renders. So, and I used to, back in the day, like pay people to produce renders. So this time I used VO. I used pretty much all of them. Also Midjourney. Like it took a long time to do. It was almost like I should have just got a render. But but to then animate stuff, I think there's a lot of value in there. And no one really complained. I mean, I think if you do it in a balanced way, right?
Yeah.
Because there's definitely you can really get excited and overdo it and generate everything's like AI generated. And it looks AI generated still, even though it's good. It's not, you can tell straight away.
I think I did VO to make a cherry on top of a cake when I said that this like the cherry on top of the icing on the cake. I did that and I put it in and it just looked so out of place, with the rest of the content. I was like, probably not going to do this again. I just don't have the brain for that. I don't have the brain. It's not creative enough to just be like, hey, let's have this fit what I do. So I just pretend it doesn't exist.
And the other thing is also, like you're saying, Daniel, once you open that rabbit hole, you start looking at video generation, you're going to get into that war and you're going to spend hours trying to learn how to do it. And you're just thinking you should have just done it in the first place.
I'm pretty much giving up on AI now anyway, because I'm getting an iPhone. I'm giving up on it.
Oof. Excuse me.
But there's something that, I don't know, it got me thinking, because I was talking to a creator, I forgot his name, but he's an American creator last week at IFA in Berlin, and he was like, have you thought of like just using your own image, your own voice, and just generating yourself? And I'm like, no. I mean, I did that for my Brazilian channel to just generate like a phrase in Portuguese, and it came out amazing. I mean, it was basically better than I could have said. But to generate an entire video of me, and I said, have you done it? And he showed me stuff that he's done. It's like, I couldn't tell the difference. So I don't know. There's an efficiency question, but there's also like, how is people going to like? Are they going to differentiate or trust you the same way if they know that it's not really you there? I don't know. Even though it's your words.
And just changing, because you mentioned that AI and Apple in a minute there, Daniel, as you know, with AirPods, well, it's actually not just with AirPods 3. This live translation will work with AirPods Pro 2 and AirPods 4 as well. But do you remember in the last pod, I mentioned that I just felt that AirPods were being really focused on by Apple. And we just look at the thing, because this time around, we still got the H2 chip, so they haven't actually improved the audio, but they're still leaning into this whole health benefit of AirPods. Because now with the heart rate tracking, I think you can measure burned calories as well. Obviously, you can use it
for a hearing aid
test. Honestly, they want you wearing those. When they had the conversation awareness, they want you wearing those AirPods 24/7. That's why they're making them more comfortable. I'm sure that's with these new tips. They've got something in mind. They want people wearing those AirPods. Whereas before, it used to be a social taboo to be out and talk to somebody with AirPods in, as much as I still hate it. It's kind of becoming a social de rigueur now. And Apple have got something in mind with AirPods. They're just leaning so heavily into all these
I know
features.
you said that before.
I don't know. Would it shock you to learn that the Galaxy Buds have had live translation for a couple of generations now?
No, it wouldn't. It's just not many people use them.
But this is the thing. I guess this goes back to the iPhone Air argument: is that nothing exists until Apple makes it.
Like, well, okay, I'll spin that around and say they did create the earbud genre.
No, they didn't.
Okay, who came out before AirPods?
There was Samsung's Gear Icon X were about a year before. They were before AirPods, but I think there was another brand even before them. But before Samsung.
Okay, so what became the biggest selling? When did people suddenly realise that we could have these wireless?
When
it's
Apple
the Apple effect,
but they did it right. They didn't create the segment.
Okay, they did it right.
Same with the mouse, right? Xerox had the mouse like
because the Icon X had heart rate monitoring when they came out, and it had 4 gigabytes of internal storage. So it's like that whole concept has existed, but again, it doesn't exist until Apple does it. That's kind of, I guess, not what Android users get upset about, but they look at what they do and the marketing that they put out there. It's like, but don't you guys realize that you said you didn't care about this 10 years ago, but now all of a sudden you do? Like there's like the 120 hertz on the base iPhones, the 17. We don't care about 100. We don't care about 120 hertz. Oh, look how great these displays are with 120 hertz. Like there's the Apple effect has this weird manipulation over people's brains where they only care about it when they're told to by Apple. But if Apple don't tell them, they don't have to listen to it.
This is a point that Alex made before, though, when he said that the tech world needs Apple to be there, because once they do it, everybody suddenly pays attention and then will follow in its wake.
So the reality.
Apple have announced live translation. People will now perhaps start using that feature more on other buds as well. And when the foldable comes out, there's other foldables available, not just an iPhone. They have that. Apple, love them or hate them, when they make something happen, the world takes notice and realizes, we can do this now.
The only, kind of to flip the coin a little bit, is it's annoying that we know Apple can do so much, right? And they probably have a huge backlog of things that they could give us. But it was only like 2020 when, it came public that they were just doing good enough, because they don't want to, kind of push
all the goodies too quickly.
So, and I think to your point on AirPods, they might have some thinking around maybe using that with some sort of Vision Pro setup. I don't know, man. They probably have a better smart glasses in the pipeline that would completely remove the need for both the Vision Pro and the AirPods. Well, yeah. So I think the kind of the problem with Apple is that they could be even better. They'll be even amazing, more like I don't know, visionary, if they actually delivered some of the stuff that they've got planned, and instead of holding and drip feeding us. If you think about the features on the iPhone, right? How long must they thought about, should we do 120 hertz now or next year? Let's do it next year.
I have a theory that when Tim took over, he made Apple more money than ever. But I think because money was the main goal, innovation is a bit risky, because if innovation flops or it doesn't work out, whatever, you could actually lose more money. So when Tim finds something that's safe, he'll just double, triple, make 6 versions of it. You know what I mean? Like, I think
what's interesting?
He would make stuff just to make cool stuff, and that's when you get the innovation and the world-changing stuff. Yeah.
What's interesting about what you said about innovation is risky? I watched the Nothing CEO, Carl Pei. He's quite good on YouTube. Like they make review.
I watch his stuff too.
He posted a review this morning of the Z Fold 7. He went and used it, and there was a chunk of the review where they asked him, "Are Nothing going to make a foldable phone?" And he said no. He said the foldable market is so small, way too small, and for us to then go and R&D, which will be double the cost of the R&D, maybe even triple of a slab phone that we've made, for then it to sell. And he goes, "We'll sell nothing." He goes, "We won't even make any of it back. So what's the return for us? We're putting all this money into making a foldable, researching, developing it, hardware, and our buying power is much less than a Samsung. So we couldn't buy the panels for cheaper. We couldn't buy the chipsets for cheaper. So what's the point in us making it?" I feel like there's a Apple of, like you said, Tim Cook knows what sells and just basically makes the same version of that year after year with enough improvements to say, we made it better. And their marketing team does such a great job that they don't really need to even make it that much better than what it was before. And their marketing team will just take care of the rest. And it works. And you can't really argue with it. Like, you can't. How can I sit here with a YouTube channel with 86,000 subscribers say Apple should be doing this when they're literally making more money than the rest of the world combined?
I think I made a video on this where I was like, why did I sit outside and wait 3 days? I waited 3 days in Japan for a freaking iPhone 10. And at the time I was an Android user. I was using the Pixel. And they've got this effect, man. And I'm like, why did I do that? I wouldn't have done that for any other brand. No way.
No, and I know we can all say it's for business reasons, but the minute we all finish this, we're clicking onto Apple and purchasing. You know, we can all hide behind saying it's for business, but we're all doing it. We're all doing it.
Yeah, I am doing it for business. So I am probably the only one here doing it for business. Well, not really. I think Alex might be as well.
I mean, at the moment, Sam's internet is so patchy that he might not get onto apple.com at the end of his.
Oh, bro.
I honestly, with this one, I'm keeping an open mind. Every year I say the same. I'll keep an open mind. I have a suspicion that, a strong suspicion that there's nothing in the iPhone that will kind of make me go back to using it as my main phone. Because I think Sam said at the beginning of the podcast, right? It's so hard for us after doing this for a while. It's like, what does it actually mean for you to have a main phone when you've got like access to so many things, right? It's hard. But ultimately, when the cameras are off and you are driving home or you are trying to catch a train or whatever, there is a device that you use the most. At the moment, I don't see the iPhone replacing that, which at the moment is the Fold. I don't see that. But I am curious, and I am,
as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a. I did what Samsung did. Let me know when it folds.
And actually, I'm just going to use the podcast for personal use here. eSIMs, boys. What's your verdict on eSIMs? Because obviously I'm going to have to go the eSIM route with the Air.
I'm going to hate it.
Hate
it.
I
don't like the idea of it.
Where is Samsung up with eSIMs?
They've got one physical, one eSIM. Like that's a dual SIM phone, one physical, one E, and I think or you can have dual eSIMs. But they've still got the physical SIM slot. And it's weird that Apple, for the first time really ever, have different battery sizes in the Pro Max because of the physical eSIM model and just the eSIM only model. Like there's an actual split in the battery capacity. I live in Australia, so I'm going to get the worst one in terms of battery.
Yeah.
And maybe I'd rather that though than have, because it's not going to be my main phone. I'm absolutely not giving up the Fold 7 for it. It's going to sit in my other pocket, and that's enough. I would say that's enough. That constitutes me using it.
So I've never used an eSIM, and I'm just wondering if I'm going. What have you found like, Sam? You immediately said,
because I change SIM cards almost every morning. Almost.
Yeah.
Depends on what I'm doing. I'm going to the beach, 1+ 13.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a cafe, Z Fold 7. Stuff like that. So I change it all the time. But now that the iPhone's going to be eSIM only, it might actually not change because I can't be stuffed. I don't even know how it works. Maybe it's easy. Who knows? Because they did say on the keynote, it's super easy. It's actually better. But, that's Apple.
Isn't there? I mean, I don't know if this is true, but I saw something on X that the fact that it doesn't have a SIM tray, so the version with an eSIM is actually got a better battery. Is that true?
I just said
that.
It's
bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, the Pro Max I think is over 5,000, and the one the one with physical SIM has 4,800 and something.
200 milliamp hours for a SIM?
150. The 200. Yeah,
that's 3.5 minutes extra.
To be fair, when Samsung dropped the SD card and the headphone jack, they said it equated to around about 300 to 400 milliamp hours of capacity that they gained in the battery by removing both of those. So
the figures they're quoting are 5,088 milliamp on the Pro Max and 4,252 on the Pro.
But with the SIM tray, it's probably less.
Less.
4855, I think it was.
And then I know before we were wondering why they've got, they have now called it the plateau, but the camera bump at the top. Apparently that's where all the workings of the phone are. So pretty much the rest of the phone now is just screen and battery. That's
crazy to me because it's a thick body as it is. It's 8.7 millimeters thick, the Pro Max, and they still needed to use that area of the phone to fit more components. When I hate to harp on about it, but the S25 Ultra, 8.2, 218 grams, and has more inside it. Like there's more componentry inside that phone than what's in the Pro Max.
But it was interesting because at the top, Sam said that the Pro Max, I think you said it was going to be probably the fastest phone because of the unibody, the A19 Plus Pro.
Yeah, they just made it a functional thing. They're like, if you care about thinness, this is not for you. If you care about, portability, this ain't for you. This is for people who actually want to use it for work. And there are people who actually use it for work. But
Have you shot movies with an iPhone?
I have.
And what was that experience like? Because you presumably use a multi-cam, were you?
No, I used one camera. It was the most fun filmmaking. I make a lot of it was the most fun I've had on the film set because it was a proper film set. We had a proper cinematographer, lighting, sound.
Right. So this is an interesting conversation then, because you've got access, as you said, you've got zillions of phones sitting there, and you went to the iPhone to make a movie. Why not one of the others?
I think
you're pretty unbiased, aren't you?
ProRes log, right?
No, must be. Yeah, you're right. I could have used any other phone, but the reason why I used the iPhone is there's an app called the Blackmagic Camera app, and that unlocks all the settings, especially
I use it,
the Apple log and whatever. And the cool thing is Blackmagic is available on Android, but the APIs or there's no actual, because there's so many phones they can't.
And log wasn't available, I think. Yeah, I mean, at least the one I watched, was it the one with the black car in it?
Yeah,
you're being held ransom or held hostage or something.
Yeah. Like I saw someone kidnapping someone and they were coming to me and I was running away.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think at the time the S25 Ultra existed, right? With log. So maybe if that existed, I don't know even if that existed, would you have tried it or would you still go for the iPhone?
Look, I think Apple markets it as a pro. I don't know what it is. Like if you're a creative, you get an Apple. I think that's the brainwash
for video. It's always been ingrained, isn't it?
That's why it's just great having you there, because you can bounce off of Daniel a bit here, and that's every pro creative seems to still reach. And this isn't me trying to bang on that Apple is the greatest and best, but every pro creative seems to reach for an iPhone. And you've done the same. You made a movie. You went for the iPhone. You could have gone to Samsung.
That's true.
The other aspect is the kind of the post production, right? It's a lot easier to migrate the footage into a Mac or whatever from the iPhone, even though you're probably recording to an SD card.
SD, yeah. And now we've got this ProRes RAW. Does that appeal to you, Sam?
Because ProRes RAW on a phone is ridiculous. That's why they need 2 terabytes.
Yeah, it's a smaller codec though, isn't it?
It's
more compressed codec, but I thought it gave you more.
It's the most usable RAW codec, so it's one of the smaller ones. But yeah, again, like it'll work like magic with the DaVinci Resolve.
They've already released something, haven't they?
Huh?
Yeah, they've just released something, DaVinci. I saw it on Threads. They've already released
That's
a hub.
That's the thing. See, when iPhone makes something for the creatives, all the DaVinci, Premiere, bang, they're on it. The apps, bang, they're on it. But like, I've got better hardware in my Xiaomi Xiaomi 15 Ultra. That's got a better. Every camera is better in there, but they got no support. I opened the Blackmagic app. You can't shoot low. You can't shoot anything. You have to use the default camera app. You know,
those brands have to pretty much build that stuff for themselves. Like they have to build. Like Samsung had to build their own log to shoot in. Samsung built dual recording because. Like Apple had a director's view style feature.
I thought Apple have invented that.
Well, they did last week or earlier this week. Sorry, that got invented. Just like vapor chambers got invented 6 days ago.
How good did they market that part, man? I knew vapor chambers existed, but I never seen it marketed like that. I was like, damn, that looks.
This is what I'm talking about.
I beg your very pardon. Let me get the verbiage right. It's deionized water filled. This vapor chamber.
Oh, is that different?
No, I
don't know. No,
yes, after you finish using your steam iron, you can use the same water in your vapor chamber, because and then you go and fill the battery in your car.
It sounds special. I swear, it looked more special than the normal ones.
Of course it is.
I'll test it, man. I'm gonna test it. Don't you worry.
How are you going to test a vapor chamber? Let us in. I want to know. How do you test a vapor chamber?
All the reviews will be
straight with the answer.
All the reviews will be it's going to be showing Genshin Impact,
that's all it's going to be. And I don't, you know what? Apart from YouTube, I don't know a single person who plays Genshin Impact. Not one. Like I speak to all my friends of football.
I'm still at the same level after 4 years of playing that game. I'm still at the same level.
I have all my friends of football. They're using iPhone 11s. They're using iPhone 12s, S22, S23s, S23 Ultras. They all couldn't give a shit about smartphones. And there's at least 50 or 60 people that I know in the club that I'm part of, and none of them care. None of them care. It's so
I think it's
crazy to me.
It's awesome though, because it did overheat, right? Now it's kind of a bit of a revelation, because all of a sudden, it was a problem. The phone did get hot. rather than, oh yeah, there was an Instagram problem, or oh, you're holding it wrong, sort of thing.
Didn't that problem exist like 5 years ago? Like, how are they now only selling the solution to that after knowing it's existed?
That's exactly my point, right? They had the solution forever, but they said, well, maybe people can put up with it for now.
It's because their sales started dipping.
Yeah, they probably.
Like, that's actually it. Like, I think they're just like, okay, we've held on to the thing for too long. Let's actually. It's almost like this was great. I don't know. This was the most exciting iPhone event for me.
There's a big button in Tim Cook's office, and he goes, right, 120 hertz on base model.
Yeah,
Go.
pretty much.
We've got the panels lined up. Hit the button. Yeah,
hit the button.
Bro, the iPhone 17 is pretty insane.
I can't believe how good that is. Yeah, it's almost like a Mac Mini sort of approach, right? Just give the people what they want. It's like, oh,
again. Somebody's banging the same drum over there.
But yeah, I think when you talk about Apple, I think that is a good move.
I know, but they're getting praise for something that they should have done. Like, it's like, let's just say a baby starts walking at age 6 and they're like, everyone's like, wow, look at this. Oh, you've taken your first steps. Oh, amazing.
But I'm not a fan of Apple, but you're taking a bit extreme.
He's 6 years old. He should have been walking at least 1. What are you clapping for?
Daniel, I think that's part of the marketing, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's working.
It's 100%.
Look on Twitter, every Joe Blow, even Android people are like, oh, iPhone 17.
Finally, yeah, 100% they are, because it's.
I'm glad you didn't go the breastfeeding route, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like can't say that as a man, but I feel like down here, the iPhone 16, like the iPhones of the base models have always been chastised and put shit on, but because they did what they had to, and like made it look nice, everyone's like, wow, like most improved award. And the best. And I'm like, well, this could have been done 3 years ago.
I still think it's top to bottom what I was saying early on, though, that I think they took that lashing last year and they, for a whole host of reasons, sure, they've come back and they just paid attention. I mean, this year they didn't avoid making improvements to the base 17. They did make small improvements to all of the watches. They've kind of just do things all the way through just to bring it back to where it should have been, when clearly they were going through some sort of aberration.
Okay, actually,
this has been a good year.
Ultra is another example. I think looking at the Ultra 3, I think that should have been the Ultra 2. Like, that's something that is improvement. The Ultra 2 is like literally the same thing.
No, they got a new color. What are you talking about?
New color and same battery, same everything else.
Bro, why is there no black iPhone 17 Pro?
You can see that coming though, right? That's...
Yeah, and it's also
that's probably the button. When sales dip, they go boom.
Yep. Yeah, he must have like 100 buttons in that office and be like,
also, it's odd that this year we're getting those sort of the funky colours on the Pros, which hasn't historically been the case.
What colour are you getting, David?
Oh, burnt orange. This one every day of the week. You can't keep away from it.
Yeah,
look at it. I'm quite juiced to get that, I must say.
It looks horrible, I've got to say, but for content, that's got to be the one.
Well, being a McLaren fan, I kind of like it. You know, when I get invited to make content for McLaren, I'm going to be like on brand, aren't I?
Leave it here. Stop it there. Go back. Go back.
Where am I going? Where am I going?
There, right there. Stop it there.
8 times.
Okay.
8 times optical quality zoom. I saw them because remember we spoke a couple weeks ago with Sam Beckman, and you were like, it's going to be this physical zoom that moves to 8 times and moves back.
I've edited that out. I never said it.
I'll find it. It's like when they announced the Air has 2 cameras. They said the Air's got 2 cameras. I'm like, it doesn't though. Like it's got 1 and then a digital crop into 2. This is the same thing. Like
it's a trend, They did that with the iPad too.
They're advertising it being up to 8 times optical quality.
It's got 2 advanced cameras in 1. It clearly says it there. Look.
It's
read it for yourself.
People will fall for that. Look. People will fall for that as well.
He's got 8 cameras. I beg your pardon.
The Pro has 0.5, 1, 2, 4, and 8.
I've got 8 legs.
See, I'm going to be curious to test that 4 times against the 5 times because
it's going to be amazing. I think it's still going to be amazing.
It'll be a good telephoto camera, but I don't think it's going to be this revolution camera that is being sold. As you know,
I think it's going to be awesome, but they do go over the top on the market.
And there's also no 8K. I noticed.
No, what happened to that? Those leaks. Yeah.
Well, I think they went the ProRes RAW angle rather than, so they went for a better codec rather than the 8K. And I know from what Sam was just saying, that possibly is more useful.
Oh, yeah,
ProRes RAW.
Stuff 8K.
That can be the clip at the start of the show. Stuff 8K. We don't need 8K on this podcast.
I was surprised about the megapixel count as well. I mean, they could have kind of, the tech is there, right, for 200 megapixel
or 8K. Just give it as a software toggle. 8K. Like, I can't imagine it'd be too much to put it in as a toggle option for someone to be able to switch to. Like, obviously they've got to build the back end processing to handle it, but it's Apple. Like, if they can build ProRes RAW, they can build 8K resolution into cameras that are capable of 8K. It's the holding back that I don't like.
It's the button. It's a button, bro.
Sorry, it's here.
Yeah. When you shot that movie, Sam, did you shoot in ProRes?
I've shot in ProRes, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually shot it into the phone, not onto an SSD.
Oof.
And then I just airdropped it.
Jeez. Even more convenient, yeah. It is possible.
So presumably your phone had reasonable storage. Was it a terabyte?
Can't remember. I think it was like 256.
You must be recording seconds at a time.
Yeah, I think halfway through I had to port the files over during lunch. That's why I get it. You need that 2 terabyte. That's what I'm saying. Like, people are like, who the F? Like on Twitter, they're like, who the F is gonna use 2 terabyte? I'm like, no, I definitely would. People would.
Wouldn't, I mean, I don't know. I've got a few of these little things here that are attached via. I mean, I don't know. I hate paying for storage because it's where they make a lot of their profits, right? It's just like the app sale. So I still think 256 is ridiculous. But maybe 512 is the one I'd go for if I was serious. And then, you know, if I do go for like a day shooting and it's going to be 4K 60 ProRes log or whatever, then I'll take an SSD with me, because even 2 terabyte, you can fill that pretty quickly as well.
Yeah. The last phone I went stupid on storage was the 14 Pro. I think that was the first year we had ProRes, and I got a terabyte of that. But in my defense, well, sort of in my defense, I was going to use it as my main camera for the channel, and then of course I came and bought your Canon, so I didn't ever actually use it at all.
Yeah, I remember testing this with the 16, maybe even 15 when the first ProRes or log first came out on the iPhone. It was like a gig per minute. So, you know, if you're recording half an hour, you need 30 gigs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Daniel, the 2 terabyte Pro Max is like 3.7 grand.
Disgusting. You can, like, this exists like at that price, cheaper than that. And it folds in half, the Fold 7.
But you'll be able to open your Apple TV app on that beautiful display on your 15 Pro Max. You'll be able to watch your messy bloke. You'll be in seventh heaven. Honestly, I can see it happening now. It's been sad.
The Z Fold's ruined all the phone. Like,
it does. It really does. Like,
I hate what it's done.
Until you have a tablet that you unfold in your pocket, you really don't understand. Like, this is. I'm going to stop. It's getting late. People are probably getting upset.
Okay, we'll wrap it up.
Look at Alex holding that beautiful phone.
iPhone soon. Oh man, they're gonna make so much money. How much money are they making just out of us for?
I've got 2.5 on spend today.
2.5? UK.
I'm buying every model, so yeah.
Every model? Okay, how much is that?
A lot. So, I'm not keeping all of them, but Pro Max, regular, and Air.
Sheesh.
So I got the Air, the Pro Max, and the AirPods 3.
Now I'm getting the Air and the Pro, and Daniel's getting the Max. David, you should put on the screen how much money Apple's been getting.
I can't look at the moment, can I? Because it's still locked down.
Yeah, I just tried to check. I couldn't find
it. No matter.
15 minutes, boys.
Yeah, Hype. 15 minutes.
Hype.
Yeah, look, see, we can't get on to look at pricing.
That was in the chat.
Yeah. See, it's all locked down. They're waiting for us. Look at that. They're waiting for us. It's almost ready.
It's going to crash, isn't it? It's never going to crash.
I'm not getting a watch. I'm not getting a watch. I'm not getting AirPods. I'm not getting anything. I am going to give this review the respect that every other reviewer of Samsung phones give.
Like, don't say anything I regret. We're going to clip this.
They use it for 2 weeks, and then they say, oh, this phone is okay. It's pretty good. But because they don't review the ecosystem, they can't get into the watch or the buds or the tabs because they don't review the extended products, but because they have everything Mac, it's like, well, this iPhone, well, what a phone. I'm like, I'm going to do the same thing, but the other way around, where I'm not going to review anything external but the phone on its own.
I freaking love just putting the cord behind Daniel and just letting him go. It's friggin' hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have the Mac, though.
I do have the Mac. My channel still doesn't know I have the Mac, so I'm still kind of...
Daniel, we got to collab on that video. I'll be the Apple guy, and you be the Samsung guy, and we should have that character talk.
Yeah, okay.
Even though you're the one that looks like Steve.
I am the one that looks like Steve. Like,
well, maybe it should be the other way around.
Maybe
I should. Guy, you be the Apple guy. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's now looking prime. Dude, Steve. Let's admit it. Daniel is looking peak prime Steve these days. So look at that.
Just need the glasses again.
Yeah, getting his union cards.
Can you say all works seamlessly? Can you repeat? Seamlessly together.
Seamlessly together.
And he's going to get his manila envelope out. There you go. That's me.
I just can't wait.
Internet communicator. An iPod.
Right, here's a content break. Here's a content breakdown before we break. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to have reactions. Lifelong Samsung fanboy switches to iPhone. What have I done? That's my reaction.
Lifelong.
Like triple life sentence. Samsung user. And then I'm going to do try and see how I go. Try and feed in two comparisons. One to the S25 Ultra and one to the Fold 7. I really think I could do both of them, but we'll see how we go. And then a final review before it disappears. Lifelong fanboy reviews iPhone 17 Pro Max. It's being returned. Why I returned it.
What if your wife loves it, though? She sees an iPhone for the first time in her life, and she's like, man, what have we missing out on?
You got to do switching. Like, I switched to the iPhone, and then obviously say it was only for a week or something.
She is vehemently, I think that's a word, against me doing this, by the way. She's already said,
to the books.
Yeah. Why? Because she's like, it's not within your core content. Your fans aren't going to like it. It's going to blow up, mate.
It's going to blow up.
I think it's just the opposite. I've already done the poll, and like 87% of the people that voted said yes.
So and in your defense,
I voted yes.
Not that I'm trying to be a marriage guidance counselor here at all, but you've already seen your video where you've mentioned an iPhone. Where do you do well?
Exactly. Like, and that's the thing, right? I know my audience will like me hating it because I think
absolutely.
And I think I can, like, whether it's disingenuous or whether I enjoy it or don't enjoy it, I still think I can make content that people will watch from it and be like, yeah,
have you considered this? What if?
No, I will get bored. I'm going to get bored with iOS. iOS is going to bore the shit out of me. I already know.
But what if you like it? What if you like it?
There's no good lock.
Be open-minded.
I can't cast decks onto any display. Like, I'll plug the phone in and it's just going to be a screen mirror. I'm like, that's already boring me. There's no edge panels, so I can't have shortcuts to my favorite apps. It doesn't unfold, so there's that.
So there's never used an iPhone, like, ever?
Ever, apart from grabbing someone else's.
There is a danger that you might like it.
But what would I like? Like, what exactly am I going to like? I can't change the dock.
Sam's got it. What's he going to like?
I can't change the grid size.
You need it for a long time. You know what, Daniel? You're having the same effect I had when I first switched to Android. And in fact, I haven't fully, I mean, I guess I'm like 95% Android. But it took me a good 5 months to be like, I get it.
Took me 3 years. Yeah.
All 5 months straight, I was like, "This is why iPhones are better. This is why every day. This is why iPhones are better. This is why and then it just clicked, and I'm like, "Oh, they're both good in their own ways."
Totally get that, but if you consider my personality,
5 months. Just give it 5 months.
Oh, mate, it's got 2 weeks. If it doesn't do anything in 2 weeks,
you two need to collab quickly.
I think as soon as you remove from the box, you'll be love at first sight.
Too heavy. I'm going to say this is too heavy. This is too thick. What's this stupid bump here for? Why is the Apple logo so low? Why isn't Dex working? Where's my edge panels? Like, where's Quick Share? Where's Good Lock?
Like, and then you're going to send a picture to your Mac and go, oh.
I can do that, though. Like, I've got Near Drop. I've already got that solution. And it's like, I don't even think about macOS as a platform. This is
the animations.
Stop with the animations.
Hey, Alex.
I always feel like at this point we should just stay on until 10
I'm
minutes.
I'm just trying to incite Bio. I like the rage bait.
Alex, have you tried the Pixel?
Not yet. Not the Pixel 10. No. I think I'll like that as well. I've tried the 9 Pro, the 8, the 7, the 6. I love Pixels, but I usually go for it around December, January. Just it doesn't do that much for my content, so yeah.
Okay.
You've had your hands on the Pixel, haven't you, Sam?
Yes, and with high anticipation, because I really like Pixel is what got me onto Android, actually. That's why.
Will this Pixel 10 Pro replace my Z Fold 7 as
and the
my
answer was no.
Android of choice? For the next 7 days, I will live with it like
and it skipped to like the last 5 minutes or 5 seconds.
On the
Go to last 5 seconds.
Can I explain why?
Man, this table wobble, bro. That's the one thing this Pixel has. Okay, let me just absolutely zero. But yeah, I say all this, and I will jump to the.
I've got the audio on clearly, but
the second it drops in 2 weeks, bro. How freaking crazy is that? Wait, I can walk on this? Nah, I shouldn't.
So this is made good for audio listeners. It is all on video. There we go. Right, so I think we genuinely are done now, right?
Yeah, seemed like it.
Yeah, let's get the checkbooks ready, boys.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed our ramblings of 4 men about to be skint. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time, no doubt with thoughts of Daniel's love affair with his iPhone Air.
His Switch.
It's going to be over before it begins.
I can see Sam's coming back with us. Say, see, bro, we were right. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time.
Cheers, all.
Cheers soon. Cheers. Bye.
Latest.